Good morning and Merry Christmas. It seems that the time is near for Santa to wake up from his sleep and prepare for takeoff. Throughout the day, Team YANTSU will take you through the North Pole with an inside look at the pre-flight preparations. Keep checking back at SantaTracking.net for Santa updates as they come available. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
The tracking day has begun. Santa has waken up from his nap and is preparing for his annual flight around the globe. As he grabs a full breakfast, he warms up in front of the fire before heading outside to get his information update. Stay tuned at SantaTracking.net for Santa updates as they come available. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Strait.
Santa is getting ready to fly. Most recently, he has checked his mailbox for any last-minute letters as he checked on the final toys in production. As he gives final instructions to his elves, he smiles as he readies for his biggest flight yet. Did you know that he will deliver over 7 billion gifts in 24 hours? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Kenny Van Apron.
It's almost time to fly. Santa knows, as he can't stop checking the clock. Santa never runs late, and typically runs ahead of schedule. This is because he is ahead, and he uses his downtime to chat with Frosty in his diner, whilst drinking a hot cup of cocoa. Will you drink cocoa while tracking Santa with us? Keep it locked at SantaTracking.net for more Santa updates, and I'm Liam Warden, signing off.
As we approach liftoff time, Santa and his reindeer are getting ready to fly faster than starlight. At this moment, the reindeer are enjoying a Yuletide power meal, as well as a check-in with Santa. How fast will they go this year? Stay tuned to find out. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Nick Tay.
We're getting closer. Santa is making final route adjustments for this Christmas Eve. As he plans his flight, he checks in with the elves in toy production to ensure that all gifts are built, wrapped, and loaded onto the sleigh. Let us know what you want for Christmas by calling us at 260-52-SANTA. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Honorary Santa Tracker, Patrick Covey.
Your gift is on its way. Santa and his elves are at the loading dock preparing to fill the magical bag with toys. Your toy is officially en route to your house. As the elves cheer as the last gift is wrapped, Santa checks the time to ensure he is on schedule. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Kenny Van Apron.
Santa is ready to fly. Mrs. Claus has prepped Santa's warmest red coat and slacks as he prepares to fly in the coldest weather in the whole wide world. Santa feels cheery as he addresses his team of elves, congratulating them for another successful year of production for this Christmas period. It won't be long now. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for more updates. I'm Joshua Warden, Cabinet Member of Team YANTSU. Merry Christmas to you all. The final gift has been loaded. The reindeer are harnessed to a heavily loaded sleigh filled with nearly 7 billion gifts in tow. One of them is yours, so be good for goodness sake. I'm sure you are all on Santa's nice list. Santa takes off soon. When will he arrive at your house? Stay tuned, we can tell you. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden, Cabinet Member for Team YANTSU. Merry Christmas to you all. The final gift has been loaded. The reindeer are harnessed to a heavily loaded sleigh filled with nearly 7 billion gifts in tow. One of them is yours, so be good for goodness sake. I'm sure you are all on Santa's nice list. Santa takes off soon. When will he arrive at your house? Stay tuned, we can tell you. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden, Cabinet Member for Team YANTSU. Merry Christmas to you all.
Santa is on board. Even loaded with all the gifts and goodies, the sleigh is light for the reindeer. The elves performing a final safety check estimates Santa will consume over 1,000 pounds of cookies and milk on his journey. What treats are you leaving out for Santa tonight? He loves the unique treats he receives from the boys and girls from all around the globe. He can't wait to eat yours. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Team YANTSU Chief Operating Officer Braden Thomas.
Team YANTSU is getting reports of activity at the North Pole. It looks like Santa has awoken from his Yuletide nap and is getting ready to take off for his annual journey. Santa gets a briefing from Head Elf Ernest as he eats a healthy breakfast to keep him energized throughout his flight. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net throughout the morning for updates on Santa's preparations. For Team YANTSU, I'm Liam Warden.
Ho 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 ho!
Operations in the North Pole Post Office are in full swing this morning as Santa goes through last-minute letters sent from children around the globe. After reading the last letters, Santa listens to his elves in the toy room for an update on final assembly of gifts to be delivered in the next 24 hours. Operations are non-stop, so be sure to keep checking back at SantaTracking.net for the latest direct from the North Pole. For Team YANTSU, I'm Jason Strait.
Ho 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 ho!
We're getting closer to liftoff, as Santa gives his annual briefing to the team of elves in the flight department and gift production department. He ensures that his route is fully planned so that he can make it to every home of every good little boy and girl on time this Christmas Eve. He always runs on time to every house, never missing a second. We're not sure how he does it, but his speed never ceases to amaze us. For Team YANTSU, I'm Cabinet Member Joshua Warden.
Not only is the North Pole home to Santa and his team, but it is also the chilly residence of Frosty the Snowman. Santa loves to chat with Frosty the Snowman, hearing about his travels and all the kids he meets. The next stop for Santa is the reindeer barn. Keep checking back at SantaTracking.net for more updates as they come in. For Team YANTSU, I'm Kenny Van Eyckren.
Ho 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 ho!
Rudolph's nose is glowing bright and is ready to light the way this Christmas Eve. Santa ensures that all reindeer are ready for the long haul ahead. The reindeer enjoy a Yuletide power meal as Santa explains the flight plan provided by the elves. The reindeer are ready to go. Check back in 20 minutes for another Santa update. For Team YANTSU, I'm Nick Tay.
Ho 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 ho!
Your present is wrapped and ready to go. In the gift warehouse, the elves are cheering as the final Christmas gift is wrapped. Did you know that they wrap over 10 billion presents per year? The gift transport team is currently shipping all gifts to the sleigh loading dock at this time. The last step for the gifts before Santa lifts off. Your gift is on its way. Stay tuned all morning for more North Pole videos. For Team YANTSU, I'm Honorary Santa Tracker, Patrick Covey.
Ho 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 ho!
Santa is suiting up this morning, with Mrs. Claus helping him pick out his warmest set of white gloves, red coat, slacks, and his favorite fashion piece, his hat. Santa checks the time again, realizing that Christmas Eve operations are now in full swing. Check back for another Santa update in about 15 minutes. For Team YANTSU, I am Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Ho 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 ho!
With all the gifts loaded on the sleigh weighs in at over 100,000 gumdrops. Rudolph checks that his red nose flashes bright, and Santa makes his annual Yuletide speech. Santa reminds the elves that no Christmas is the same, and as the world population grows, the elves will always be able to make gifts for all the children of the world. Team YANTSU, I'm Liam Warden.
Ho 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 ho!
All 9 reindeer are ready to go. Do you know that Santa's reindeer can fly because they consume magic oats that only grow in the North Pole? The reindeer's diet ensures that they are healthy and ready to enjoy the highest and lowest temperatures in the world during their flight. The sleigh is positioned on the runway as the reindeer ready their hooves for takeoff. Stay tuned for another update very soon. For Team YANTSU, I'm Cabinet Member Joshua Warden.
Big Red 1's captain and only passenger is on board. Santa is getting his flight control set up as the ground crew elves make sure the sleigh passes a final inspection. Santa readies the reins and aligns with the runway. All is clear for a smooth takeoff. Check back for a video of Santa's takeoff in just over 10 minutes. For Team YANTSU, I'm Nick Tay.
Ho 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 ho!
After a goodbye kiss from Mrs. Claus, the clock tower chimes as Santa pushes the throttles forward. At the climbing speed of one twinkle of an eye, Big Red 1 is airborne. Santa flies at speeds faster than light around the Arctic. The worldwide trip has begun. Check back in less than a half hour for another video update. For Team YANTSU, I'm Jason Strait.
Ho 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 ho!
Santa is sure to fly over the North Pole Village to deliver gifts for all the hard-working elves that helped make his mission possible. Once all the gifts in the North Pole have been taken care of, Santa heads to the masses of ice around the pole and checks out the polar bears below him. They must have warm fur to be comfortable in this cold. More images of Santa flying in less than half an hour. For Team YANTSU, I'm Board of Director member Braden Thomas.
Ho 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 ho!
Santa makes sure to check all his in-flight controls before he starts his annual journey to visit all those homes on Christmas Eve. He also reminds the reindeer to fly swiftly but quietly so children stay asleep. Before he visits all the children, though, he casts his ever-watchful eyes upon the deployed servicemen and women who spend their holidays defending freedom across the globe. Seen here, he spots some steaming ships below. Do you think they're part of the United States Navy? For Team YANTSU, I'm Honorary Santa Tracker Andrew Corrales.
Ho, 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 ho.
After delivering gifts to the servicemen and women in the north, Santa flies southward over the Aleutian Islands towards the Pacific dateline. Santa will zip southward towards New Zealand and will begin a zigzag pattern through the 24 time zones of the world. Santa is on his way to the first houses of the year. For continuing video coverage of Santa, stay tuned to www.noradsanta.org and our stream at www.santatracking.net. Throughout the day, for Team YANTSU, I'm Liam Warden.
Ho, 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 ho.
7 November, countries want to go. 1 year on the street.
SantaTracking.net is getting reports of activity at the North Pole. It looks like Santa has awoken from his Yuletide nap and is getting ready to take off for his annual journey. Santa gets a briefing from the head elf, Ernest, as he eats a healthy breakfast to keep him energized throughout his flight. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net throughout the morning for updates on Santa's preparations. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Nick Tay.
7 November, go. 7 November, countries want to go. 1 year on the street.
Operations in the North Pole Post Office are in full swing this morning as Santa goes through last-minute letters sent from children around the globe. After reading the last letters, Santa listens to his elves in the toy room for an update on final assembly of gifts to be delivered in the next 24 hours. Operations are non-stop, so be sure to check back at SantaTracking.net for the latest direct news from the North Pole. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
7 November, go. 7 November, countries want to go. 1 year on the street.
We're getting closer to liftoff, as Santa gives his annual briefing to the team of elves in the flight department and gift production department. He ensures that his route is fully planned, so that he can make it to every home of every good little boy and girl on time this Christmas Eve. He always runs on time to every house. We're not sure how he does it, but his speed never ceases to amaze us. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Strait.
7 November, go. 7 November, countries want to go. 1 year on the street.
Not only is the North Pole home to Santa and his team, but it is also the chilly residence of Frosty the Snowman. Santa loves to chat with Frosty the Snowman, hearing about his travels and all the kids he meets. Do you remember when Santa brought Frosty home to the North Pole for the first time? The next stop for Santa is the reindeer barn. Keep checking back at SantaTracking.net for more updates as they come in. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Wait, 7 November, go.
Rudolph's nose is glowing bright and is ready to light the way this Christmas Eve. Santa ensures that all reindeer are ready for the long haul ahead. The reindeer enjoy a Yuletide power meal as Santa explains the flight plan provided by the elves. The reindeer are ready to go. Check back in 20 minutes for another Santa update. For SantaTracking.net, I am Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Wait, 7 November, go. 7 November, countries want to go. 1 year on the street.
Your present is wrapped and ready to go. In the gift warehouse, the elves are cheering as the final Christmas gift is wrapped. Did you know that they wrap over 10 billion presents per year? The gift transport team is currently shipping all gifts to the sleigh loading dock, the last step for the gifts before Santa lifts off. Your gift is on its way. Stay tuned all morning for more North Pole videos. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
November, go. 7 November, just want to go. 1 Charlie.
Santa is suiting up this morning, with Mrs. Claus helping him pick out his warmest set of white gloves, red coat and slacks, and his favourite fashion piece, his hat. Santa checks the time again, realising that Christmas Eve operations are now in full swing. Check back for another Santa update in about 15 minutes. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
7 November, go.
With all gifts loaded on the sleigh weighs in at over 100,000 gumdrops. Rudolph checks that his red nose flashes bright, and Santa makes his annual Christmas Eve address. Santa reminds the elves that no Christmas is the same, and as the world population grows, the elves will always be able to make gifts for all the children of the world. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
November, go. 7 November, just want to go. 1 Charlie.
All 9 reindeer are ready to go. Do you know that Santa's reindeer can fly because they consume magic oats that only grow in the North Pole? The reindeer's diet ensures that they are healthy and ready to endure the highest and lowest temperatures in the world during their flight. The sleigh is positioned on the runway as the reindeer ready their hooves for takeoff. Stay tuned for another update very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
7 November, go. 7 November, just want to go. 1 Charlie.
Big Red One's captain and only passenger is on board. Santa is getting his flight controls set up as the ground crew elves make sure the sleigh passes a final inspection. Santa readies the reins and aligns with the runway. All is clear for a smooth takeoff. Check back for a video of Santa's takeoff in just over 10 minutes. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
7 November, go. 7 November, just want to go. 1 Charlie.
After a quick kiss goodbye to Mrs. Claus, the clock tower bells chime to signal Santa's departure as he pushes the throttles forward. At climbing speed, in one twinkle of an eye, Big Red One is airborne. Santa flies faster than the speed of light around the Arctic, for his annual worldwide trip has begun once again. Check back in less than half an hour for another video update. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
7 November, go. 7 November, just want to go. 1 Charlie.
Santa is sure to fly over the North Pole Village to deliver gifts for all the hard-working elves that help make his mission possible. Once all the gifts in the North Pole have been taken care of, Santa heads to the masses of ice around the pole and checks out the polar bears below him. They must have warm fur to be comfortable in this cold. More images of Santa flying in less than a half hour. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Nick Tay.
7 November, go.
Santa is sure to check his flight controls before he begins to visit homes. He reminds the reindeer to fly swiftly and quietly so that children stay asleep. Before he visits children, he is sure to visit with the servicemen and women who are spending their holiday defending our continent. He spots some ships below. Do you think they're US Navy? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
7 November, go.
The beginning of Santa's flight is running smoothly as Santa makes his first deliveries to children on the Aleutian Islands and eastern seaboard of New Zealand. Before hitting any major continents, Santa hops to and fro over small islands within the Pacific Ocean. He doesn't miss anybody, and he sure does enjoy some warm tropical treats before he heads into the colder parts of his journey. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
27 November, go.
One of Santa's favorite parts of traveling the entire world is seeing the 7 wonders of the world, and the Great Wall of China is no exception. Santa will travel along the wall for hundreds of miles, where he flies through Asia. Santa will continue to travel in his zigzag pattern along the eastern part of the world as he makes his way towards Europe over the next few hours. For SantaTracking.net, I'm special guest Patrick Covey.
November, go.
Santa doesn't just deliver toys and goodies for the little ones. One of Santa's missions is to acknowledge the servicemen and women of all the world, and he does this by visiting them here, at their various posts in the Middle East. Santa will visit mums, dads, serving their country, and just a few short hours later visit their children on the other side of the world. All of us at Team YANTSU wish a safe and happy holiday season to all of those protecting their loved ones overseas. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
27 November, go.
Santa appears to be ahead of schedule as he cruises through Europe around and about the Mediterranean Sea. It won't be long until children in the United Kingdom and Western Europe will need to have those cookies out and be tucked snugly into bed. Keep an eye on SantaTracking.net and the Tracking Santa live show for your bedtime alerts. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Strait.
27 November, go.
The busier part of Santa's journey is beginning as Santa cruises over the United Kingdom. Widely known as Father Christmas, Santa will be stopping at the home of team members Jason, Max, Liam and Joshua, as all children in the United Kingdom region, including England, Northern Ireland, Scotland and Wales, as well as the Republic of Ireland, should be in bed now. For SantaTracking.net, I am Liam Warden.
27 November, go. 7 November,
Santa is delivering presents at a rapid rate as he cruises up and down the east coast of North America. Along the northern east coast, he will hit the homes of team members Braden, Marcus, and Nick. Most children in the United States and Canada should be getting ready for bed at this point, so Santa can stop by at any moment. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
27 November, go.
After a long 24-hour trip around the world, Santa has finally completed his gift delivery mission for 2017 and has arrived back at the North Pole. All of us at SantaTracking.net and NORAD would like to thank you for watching the show and helping us track Santa this year. From all of us, Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
27 November, go.
Without skipping a beat, operations have kicked up to full speed as Christmas Eve procedures begin here at the North Pole. Santa was last spotted eating a healthy breakfast, surely an essential for his upcoming 24-hour flight. Stay tuned to our live stream for continuous updates. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden. For the past 364 days, the elves have been building, packaging and wrapping presents for all the well-behaved children around the world. Now they get their first instructions for all their air traffic control responsibilities, which will be vital for Santa's flight. Santa takes off in just over an hour. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
The most powerful aircraft in the world, Big Red 1, has to fly at speeds faster than light for a duration of over 24 hours. For this, its 9 engines, being Santa's reindeer, must eat well. Here we can see them enjoying a Yuletide power meal just before they are harnessed to the sleigh. It won't be long now. Check our Twitter page for by-the-minute updates. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
A jolly moment at the North Pole as the elves cheer as the last gift of 2018 is wrapped. The elves have prepared literally billions of gifts to fill the stockings and decorate the trees of all of those on Santa's nice list. These billions of gifts, loaded into a single super strong, super expandable toy sack, are being shipped to the sleigh loading dock, and then it's time for Santa Claus to board. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Strait.
Fully loaded with gifts and goodies for kids of all ages, Big Red 1 is now positioned on the ramp of North Pole's lone runway, which always points south. Ground control makes final arrangements for the heavyweight aircraft's scheduled departure as the sleigh is pulled into position by 9 of Santa's reindeer. North Pole's Flight Control Center will soon grant takeoff clearance for Santa's annual journey. Stay tuned to our YouTube page for a live video of Santa's takeoff. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Winds are calm, fly runway heading, clear for takeoff. Santa Claus pushes the throttles forward and within seconds is airborne into Arctic airspace. Along his planned flight route, Santa flies south over the Aleutian Islands, leaving the Arctic Circle. Below, Santa sees polar bears. He's amazed every year how they are able to endure such cold temperatures. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Santa has been cleared on a vector through North American airspace as he makes his final climb to cruising altitude for his initial journey down the international date line through the Pacific Ocean. Santa spots some ships in the sea below him. Maybe they are US Navy? Make sure you check our Facebook page for video updates on Santa's next major stop. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Cabinet Member Patrick Covey.
One of Santa's first stops on his annual journey has brought him to the small but beautiful island country of New Zealand. A very common misconception of New Zealand is that it is part of Australia. But actually, it's about 1,200 miles or 1,900 kilometers to the east. Regardless, we expect to see Santa in the land down under very soon. Keep checking back on our YouTube channel for more videos as Santa continues his journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
One of the fastest developing cities in the world. Santa is stunned by both the technological and cultural developments he sees every year in Tokyo. Santa will deliver millions of gifts in the city as well as the outlying suburbs. From here, we expect Santa to fly westward towards mainland Asia. Make sure you follow our Twitter page at Team YANTSU for constant updates on Santa's location. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Santa sure must be busy in the world's third largest city, Shanghai, as he delivers presents to the good boys and girls of China. Santa loves traveling to China for sightseeing, such as the Great Wall, which we expect him to navigate with for many miles. The gift count continues to increase, so stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for updates on when your gift will be delivered. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Cabinet Member Patrick Covey.
Santa's flight pattern, because of the time zones of the world, is a north and south zigzag pattern around the globe, which is why southernmost destinations, such as Perth, Australia, serve as a turning point in his route. From Perth, we expect Santa to fly up the western Australian coastline and back into Asia. Children in the westernmost parts of Asia should start sending cookies out. For SantaTracking.net, I am Lee Dillon.
It's evening for the people of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, but Santa Claus will be delivering presents to all the good children of Malaysia's capital, as well as the other countries in the area. All parts of Asia should be in bed by this point. Keep watching the 10th annual Tracking Santa live show for continuous Santa updates. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
It's almost time for Santa's work in Europe and Africa to begin as he travels through India. Santa takes extra time to make sure he hits all of the stops in one of the most densely populated regions in the world, and then he flies faster as he travels north. To our European viewers, stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for updates on when it's time for bed. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Santa doesn't only pack gifts for children, he also packs them for those serving their country. Santa is proud and honoured to visit troops in the Middle East who are away from home for the holidays, and he visits them at military bases such as this one. From all of us at NORAD and Team YANTSU, we wish all of those serving a Merry Christmas and a safe return home. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Santa sure is thanking Mrs. Claus for his warm coat, hat, and mittens when his journey takes him to cold places up north, such as here in St. Petersburg, Russia. Although many families in this part of the world celebrate Christmas in 2 weeks, Santa is proud to celebrate and give to so many children this time of year in December. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Cabinet Member Patrick Covey.
Santa has reached the bottom of the continent of Africa and is visiting the homes of the children who have been eagerly awaiting his arrival. With a population of approximately 400,000, Cape Town is one of South Africa's 3 capitals, the other being Johannesburg and Pretoria. We're now expecting Santa to continue his trip north through Africa and then into Central Europe, so kids in these areas should get to sleep soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Santa and the reindeer have all donned their special spacesuits as they head into low Earth orbit to visit the International Space Station, which just turned 20 years old in November. Santa always visits the 6 scientists stationed there, as well as their children down below on the surface of the Earth. Did you know that the space station travels around the planet 15.5 times a day at more than 4 miles per second? That's pretty quick. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Santa continues his travels through Europe as he takes a stop in Brussels, the capital and most populated city in Belgium. He is sure to spend a little bit of extra time in the Belgian capital as he savours each bite of the delicious Belgian chocolates that have been left out for him whilst flying over the many Christmas markets, as well as the historic Gothic architecture of the Grand Palace and the Museum of the City. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for more updates on Santa's journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Feliz Navidad! Santa Claus has made his way to Madrid, the capital of Spain, home to 2 famous soccer teams. Although it may not seem like it, Santa is a big fan of sports, and he regularly watches games with elves from his home, the North Pole, during the less busy times of the year. It's probably safe to say that Santa watches sports quite a bit more than he actually plays them. As well as delivering to the many soccer fans in the city, Santa takes time to admire the elegant European architecture. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Luke Dillon.
Santa is stopping off in Casablanca, the most populated city in Morocco, as well as one of the largest and most important cities in Africa. Located in Western Africa on the Atlantic Ocean, the city boasts a history dating all the way back to the 7th century BC. That's older than Santa delivering gifts. Santa is now headed north into Europe, and then across the Atlantic Ocean to South America. Anyone living in Europe who is not in bed should now get to bed. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Santa, or Father Christmas as he is commonly known as in the UK, has been spotted flying past the prehistoric monument of Stonehenge. Consisting of a ring of standing stones, did you know it's estimated to be up to 5,000 years old, dating back to the Bronze Age? Santa sure had his work cut out for him during this stage of his journey as he visits the homes of YANTSU members Joshua, Liam and Max. Hopefully all of the children in the UK will be tucked up in bed, as Father Christmas only visits when you're asleep. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Having crossed the Irish Sea, Santa is continuing his journey through the British Isles onto Ireland. We've received reports of him flying over the many historical landmarks of the capital city of Dublin, including St. Patrick's Cathedral, St. Stephen's Green, and Dublin Zoo. Some date back as far as the 13th century. Now that sure is a lot of history. There have been no delays in Santa's journey so far, and we expect it to continue smoothly as his Atlantic crossing begins. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Strait.
Santa has reached one of the coldest parts of his journey, the frozen island of Iceland to the north of the European continent. Living in this kind of temperature year-round, the reindeer enjoy a refreshing break from the heat of the Sahara Desert experienced just hours earlier. As Santa flies over Iceland, he visits nearly 40% of the country's population. This makes it one of the most sparsely populated countries in the world. He enjoys flying over the many multicoloured houses of Reykjavik, covered with a blanket of snow. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
There have been confirmed reports of Santa heading along the west coast of the South American continent, and it appears he was last heading towards the capital city of Santiago, Chile, one of the largest cities in the Americas. The city is surrounded by the snow-capped Andes Mountains, and Santa admires the view as he stops at the houses in city center. We're expecting Santa to head north towards the United States and Canada very soon, so kids on the East Coast, you need to go to bed. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Santa is now zooming across the coastlines of Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax is Santa's busiest Atlantic Canadian stop with a population of just over 400,000. Among Santa's favorite Halifax landmarks are the McDonald and McKay Bridges, the Citadel Hill Clock Tower, and Dalhousie University, who is currently in the midst of bicentennial anniversary celebrations. Did you know Nova Scotia is home to NHL superstars Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, and Brad Marchand? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Hopping from one side of the Americas to the other, Santa is back on the western coast of South America, and the latest information shows him heading towards the capital city of Peru, Lima. With a population of over 10 million, it is one of the largest cities in South America. Now a bustling metropolis, the city also has a blend of historical architecture dating back nearly 500 years. Santa loves to see so much history as he flies through the city. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Ward. Santa, or Père Noël, as he is known to the French-speaking people, has arrived back in Canada and has reached the city of Montreal in the province of Quebec. Montreal is the second most populated city in Canada, as well as the second most populated French-speaking city. Montreal is home to many important landmarks, including the Olympic Stadium, the Notre Dame Basilica, Mount Royal, and many more. Stay tuned for SantaTracking.net for more updates on Santa's journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Santa has just flown past Niagara Falls, one of the most famous and iconic waterfalls in the world. Did you know there are actually 3 waterfalls, all situated on the border between the US and Canada? The falls are famous for their beauty as well as a source of electricity. However, Santa has little time to enjoy the view, as the busier part of his journey is about to begin. Anyone in the central United States should go to bed, as Santa will be soon heading your way. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon. Nicknamed the Big Easy, Santa's most recently stopped at the city of New Orleans. Famous for its nightlife, music, and culture, the city is also well known for its annual celebrations and festivals. Although Christmas is a big deal for the citizens, and they will of course be eagerly awaiting Santa's arrival, the festival of Mardi Gras is soon coming up and is known for its costume, parades, and street parties. Santa loves to learn about the culture of different places around the world as he travels each year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Luke Dillon.
Santa's tour of the United States is almost coming to a close. He has arrived in Las Vegas, billed the entertainment capital of the world. It is a city known for its shopping, entertainment, and nightlife. Once just a barren desert, it is now an extremely popular tourist destination and one of the most vibrant and lively cities in the world, with over 40 million visiting each year. Santa is just one of those. As he flies over the main street, commonly known as the Strip, he enjoys looking at all of the city's Christmas lights. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
After a long trip around the world, Santa has finally finished delivering gifts and has made it back to the North Pole. It has been a busy and tiring night, but has been yet another successful mission as kids around the world wake to see what Santa has left for them. After landing the sleigh, Santa retreats to his home for a well-deserved rest. Thank you for watching the 10th annual Tracking Santa live show, and from all of us at Team YANTSU, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas. Activity has been detected at the North Pole this morning, and it appears that Santa has awoken from a restful sleep and is getting ready for his flight around the world. After eating a hearty meal prepared by Mrs. Claus, Santa is checking for any last-minute letters at the North Pole Post Office. Make sure to stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for further updates on Santa's preparations this morning. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
The time is almost near, as preparations in the North Pole are full speed ahead. The elves are busy wrapping up all the gifts and making sure they get them all into the wrapping factory on time. Presents loaded on the conveyor belt are checked by Santa as he meets with head elf Ernest to discuss the completion of the toy production. Very shortly, the last gift will be wrapped. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Santa's reindeer are getting ready for their flight. The reindeer roll call is announced, and having stretched their legs earlier this morning, they are now visited by Santa, who encourages them to fly strong and fast. They will be given a special Yuletide power meal, which will give them the energy they need for the long haul ahead. It won't be long now until they are ready to go. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
It's that time of year again as Santa puts on his famous coat and gives his annual Yuletide speech. He thanks them for their hard work throughout the year and reminds them to be merry and to spread Christmas cheer. He also takes a moment to thank Miss Claus for her support and the reindeer for training hard for their flight. With less than an hour to go until takeoff, everyone's hard work will soon pay off. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
There are cheers from the elves as the sleigh barn doors are open. With all 9 reindeer harnessed and gifts fully loaded on board the sleigh, Santa is ready to go. The sleigh taxis to the runway, where it is carefully positioned for takeoff. While Santa waits for his clearance to take off, the elves check that no gifts have been left behind in his workshop. Check back soon for the beginning of Santa's flight. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Santa has begun his journey, and the latest information shows that he is heading south from the North Pole. Across the Arctic and towards the Pacific, the reindeer have been flying a heavy sleigh strong and fast, and they appear to be full of energy. Along the way, Santa spots some polar bears on the ground below. Did you know that polar bears are currently considered to be endangered? Santa hopes to continue to share his North Pole home with them. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Continuing his southbound flight, Santa has reached the Pacific Ocean. It appears he spotted some military ships. Could they belong to the U.S. Navy? While there appear to be no gifts that have been delivered yet, Santa will be making his first stops very soon, so kids in the Pacific and in eastern Russia should head to bed soon. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for further updates on Santa's journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Having traveled across eastern Russia and the Pacific, Santa has reached New Zealand and has been spotted in Christchurch, one of the first major cities in his journey. Located on the east coast of the South Island, Christchurch is New Zealand's third most populous city after Auckland and New Zealand. Santa sure has many believers there, and hopefully they're all asleep so gifts can be delivered. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Good day! Santa has reached Australia and is currently flying down the east coast of the country. He was most recently spotted in Melbourne, the capital of the state of Victoria. It's currently summer in Australia, and the people there love to have barbecues, beach days, camping trips, and even surfing dressed up as Santa during this festive season. Santa flies past the beach at the edge of the city where many beachgoers will flock to on Christmas Day. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
Heading back north into Asia, Santa makes a stop to deliver gifts in Tokyo, Japan. Tokyo is the capital and the most populated metropolitan area in the entire world, with nearly 40 million people residing there. That's a lot of homes for Santa to visit. Despite the larger amount of gifts to deliver, Santa will be done in the blink of an eye, and the reindeer show no sign of slowing down either as they move throughout the rest of East Asia. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
There have been confirmed reports of Santa heading into China, and it appears that he's currently visiting the capital city of Beijing. The city is a mix of modern and traditional architecture and is one of the oldest cities in the world, dating back thousands of years. Santa still remembers what it looked like before the skyscrapers that illuminate the skyline were built. Santa has a lot of work to do here in China, with over a sixth of the world's population living in the country. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Next up on Santa's journey is Southeast Asia. He is currently visiting the capital of Thailand, Bangkok. With over 8% of the country's population, it is the most densely populated city in Thailand. As Santa flies over the city, he enjoys admiring the ancient temples and palaces from centuries past. Santa is now expected to fly north into Central Asia, so kids in those areas could go to bed soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Heafy. Latest reports show that Santa, or Father Frost as he's known in Russia, has been flying over Moscow. Santa was flying past the famous Red Square in St. Basil's Cathedral, which is currently a winter wonderland decorated for the Christmas season. Moscow is also known for hosting the final of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Did you know that Santa's a huge soccer fan? For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Heafy.
Crossing the Indian Ocean, Santa has arrived in Africa. As he heads north along the east coast of the continent, he flies past Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa with 3 volcanic cones. There is no risk of it disrupting Santa's journey, however, as the last eruption was over 100,000 years ago. After his visit to Kilimanjaro, Santa continues north into Kenya and Ethiopia, where he continues his gift delivery mission. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Street.
Santa is in Johannesburg, South Africa, the largest city in the country and one of 3 capitals, the others being Cape Town and Pretoria. South Africa and Johannesburg are well known for its sports, including soccer, cricket, and rugby. Most recently, South Africa won the Rugby World Cup, which Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves watch from the North Pole. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
Santa is flying through Central Europe and quickly visiting and delivering gifts in many cities across the different countries. Santa loves all of the different sights, cultures and Christmas traditions. Maybe next year he'll take a trip to somewhere in Europe during the off-season. There appears to be no delays for Santa here in Europe, with his flight still running smoothly. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
It's Christmas in Germany, as Santa has been reported in the skies, including a visit to the capital city of Berlin. Berlin is well known for its Christmas markets, and Santa loves the lights and decorations in the city. He also enjoys flying past the many landmarks of the city, including the Brandenburg Gate, the remains of the Berlin Wall, and the TV Tower. Where in Europe will Santa visit next? Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net to find out. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Feliz Navidad! Santa is currently visiting Spain and was most recently spotted in the city of Barcelona. Located by the Mediterranean Sea, Barcelona is the second most populous city in Spain with 1.6 million people. One of the city's most famous architects is Antoni Gaudí, famed for creating several of the beautiful buildings which make up the city of Barcelona. The Sagrada Familia is one of these, his dream project, and has been constructing this since 1882 and is expected to finally be completed in 2026. Santa can't wait to see it complete. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden.
Santa Claus, also known as Father Christmas, is airborne in the skies above the UK. As he flies over the capital city of London, he takes a moment to admire the landmarks, such as the London Eye, and the Queen Elizabeth Tower containing Big Ben, which is currently under renovations that will last until 2021. Santa can't wait to see it restored fully. On his visit to the UK, Santa is also sure to stop by the homes of Team YANTSU members Joshua, Liam, Max, and Connor Fawcett. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Santa has been spotted flying over the capital city of Dublin, Ireland. Originally a Viking settlement, Dublin is situated on the east coast at the mouth of the River Liffey and has a population of over just 1 million. As Santa flies over the city, he circles the spire of Dublin and takes in the view of the city and the surrounding Wicklow Mountains. Once finished in Ireland, Santa will be crossing the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jason Street.
Santa has crossed the Atlantic Ocean and is now delivering gifts to South America. Latest reports show him flying over Buenos Aires, the capital and largest city of Argentina. Buenos Aires is known for its European architecture and rich cultural life. Did you know its name translates to fair winds or good airs? Santa has faced no trouble in the air on his flight so far, and we expect the remainder of the journey to stay that way. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Santa continues his miraculous flight through South America and currently visiting the capital city of Bogota, Colombia. It's located in the eastern Andes mountain range and the third highest capital in the world at an average of 8,600 feet above sea level. His relatively cool climate at that altitude is perfect for Santa and the reindeer to cool off a little after flying through the hot and humid Amazon rainforest. Children located on the east coast of Canada and the United States should all head off to bed now, because Santa will be coming your way very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Flying north along the east coast of the United States, Santa has reached New York City, home to such landmarks as the Empire State Building, Times Square, the Statue of Liberty, and the World Trade Center. During the summer, Santa loves traveling to New York and enjoys seeing the sights and sounds of the largest city in the United States. Keep watching SantaTracking.net as Santa continues through Canada and the U.S. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Santa and the reindeer have been spotted flying over Canada's capital city of Ottawa. Ottawa is the fourth largest city and the largest city with both English and French as co-official languages in Canada. The cold weather in Canada is perfect for the reindeer, and they appear to be flying as fast as ever, especially with a much lighter sleigh as more gifts are delivered. From Ottawa, Santa is expected to head back south into the central United States and Central America. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Santa is flying over the central United States, and he has reached the city and state capital of Indiana, Indianapolis, home of Team YANTSU member Luke Dillon. Indiana is known as the crossroads of America, with Indianapolis having 6 interstate highways across town. The city is also known for its racing, especially the famous Indy 500-mile race. However, records show Santa's sleigh could cover that distance in just minutes, though we're not sure how he does it. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
Santa is in the south. There have been confirmed reports of a sleigh and reindeer over the city of Houston, Texas. Houston is known for being the world capital of space exploration, with the Johnson Space Center, the control center for all U.S. shuttle missions, being in the city. Santa is fascinated by space, and he always takes the time to visit the International Space Station at some point during his flight each year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
Flying into Mexico, Santa is visiting the capital, Mexico City. He flies a little slower as he delivers the gifts to the 8 million residents. Did you know that the city was originally founded by the Aztecs in 1325 and is the oldest capital city in the Americas? From here, Santa will head north back into the Midwest United States and Canada. All kids in the Midwest should certainly be in bed by now, and kids on the West Coast should think about getting some sleep soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Joshua Warden, and a Merry Christmas to you all.
Santa has almost reached the end of his flight across the Americas. One of his last stops is the city of Vancouver, a coastal seaport in the province of British Columbia, and both the largest city in the province and the most densely populated area in Canada. Santa has only a few more stops left on his flight this year, and we expect him to fly north to Alaska, followed by a visit to Hawaii and the Pacific before returning home to the North Pole. All kids who have not yet received a visit from Santa shouldn't be in bed by now. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Latest reports from the North Pole have suggested that Santa is awake, fully fueled for his journey, and has begun final Christmas Eve morning preparations. One of Santa's first tasks on his pre-flight checklist is to read any last-minute letters received from good boys and girls from around the world. He certainly wouldn't want to miss anyone's gift request. What do you think Santa will do next? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
After instructing the elves on the last-minute gift wishes and checking on the status of the toy production, Santa always finds some time in the morning to meet with the resident snowman of the North Pole, Frosty. Santa talks to Frosty about his flight plan and the current status of preparations, and Frosty wishes him luck for his travels. There is not much time to chat, however, as Santa must get back to work. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Blitzen, Comet, Cupid, Dawn, and Rudolph are all reportedly A-OK for flight and have been fed their annual Yuletide power meal, giving them the energy they need to fly across the cold stretches of the Arctic to the first stops of Santa's journey. Rudolph runs outside the reindeer barn as he warms up for the flight. He has certainly been training hard this year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Luke Dillon.
Things are ramping up at the North Pole as we enter the final hour before takeoff. With the toy production complete, all gifts are moved from the workshop to the loading dock, ready for transfer onto his sleigh. While Santa prepares to give his Yuletide speech, command elves at the North Pole Control Center boot up their systems as they get ready to guide Santa around the world. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
It's the moment that Santa, Mrs. Claus, the elves and the reindeer, and you at home too, have all been waiting for all year long. Santa's journey has begun. There are cheers from Santa's village as the sleigh flies over before quickly disappearing into the distance. While it will be some time before the first deliveries are made, we here at Track Santa Live will be sure to update you on Big Red One's whereabouts as soon as we receive them. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jack Sharp.
Santa sure has his work cut out as he reaches Auckland, the most populated urban area in New Zealand. Amongst its almost 1.5 million people are many believers who have been patient waiting Santa's arrival. The trip across New Zealand must be a welcome break for the island hopping that Santa and the reindeer had done across the Pacific so far, but there's still much more ocean still to be covered. For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Heafy.
From one side of the world to the other, Santa has reached Antarctica. He spots some penguins on the ground below as he flies over the United States Research Station McMurdo. As he stops to deliver gifts to the personnel working at the station, he knows he will visit their children on the other side of the world just hours from now. Next for Santa will be a flight back north towards Russia. He sure is moving fast. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
There have been reports of red sleigh and reindeer all over Japan. It appears that Santa's latest stop has been the capital city of Tokyo. He flies past the many skyscrapers in the city, including the iconic Eiffel Tower-inspired Tokyo Tower. He will also take a moment to gaze at the view of Mount Fuji in the distance, knowing that he will be heading there soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Heafy.
Continuing his journey through East Asia, Santa has reached China. While flying between the many megacities of the country, he was reported to be heading down part of the Great Wall of China. Did you know that the wall has a total length of over 13,000 miles and that some of it dates back to the 7th century BC? That was before even Santa's first trip around the world. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Having just completed the delivery of gifts to Western Australia and Indonesia, Santa now heads northward into Southeast Asia. As he enters the mainland, he stops off in Singapore City, a city-state with a population of 5 million plus in an area of only 280 square miles. Did you know this makes it one of the most densely populated countries in the world? That's a lot of stops to make in a relatively short period of time. For Santa, though, it's no problem, as he works his Christmas magic. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Standing at a height of 29,000 feet, Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world, and Santa just flew right past it. It's situated on the border between Nepal and China, and the colder temperatures make a great change for the reindeer from the warmer environment encountered just hours ago in the southern hemisphere. So far, Santa has made great progress through Central Asia, and we don't expect him to slow down anytime soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Santa is continuing to head south on his Yuletide journey and has recently been spotted in Port Louis, Mauritius. Santa enjoys the great architecture of Port Louis as he flies by Government House, English St James Cathedral and the Port Louis Theatre. From here we expect Santa to head back west into Africa before zooming north into the Middle East. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Hyvää joulua. Santa, known in Finnish as Joulupukki, has arrived in the capital city of Helsinki, Finland. With a population of 1.2 million, the city is sure to contain many of the country's big fans of Santa. The Finns believe that Santa lives in Lapland in northern Finland, and the Santa Claus Village amusement park there brings in over 500,000 annual visitors. One could certainly say Santa is close to home here in Finland. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
From northern Europe to the southern tip of Africa in just 1 hour, Santa's moving extremely quickly as always this year. Most recently, he was reported to be flying through the city of Johannesburg, South Africa, known as the City of Gold. With its foundations being from the discovery of gold on farmland, the city is now classed as a megacity and is among one of the largest urban areas in the world. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
Santa has been making quick progress through Africa, and his latest visit was at the Nigerian city of Lagos. The capital of Nigeria until 1991, the city is the fourth most populated and one of the fastest growing cities in the world. There is not long before we expect to see Santa traveling through Central Europe, and kids on the European continent who are not yet in bed should think about heading there soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Known by many names such as the City of Water or the City of Canals, Santa has arrived in Venice, Italy. Many parts of the city are known for the beauty of their architecture, which Santa loves to look at every time he visits. Did you know that Venice is made up of 118 islands separated by canals and linked by 400 bridges? It's lucky that Santa has a sleigh for quick and easy travel from house to house. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
It's Christmas time in Sweden, as Santa has arrived in the capital city of Stockholm. Many Swedish families decorate their homes for Christmas with a straw goat ornament, which guards the home and Christmas tree. It's linked back to a traditional belief that a Yule goat watched over the preparations for the Midwinter Festival. Santa loves to see the many festive decorations around different parts of the world. What is your favorite? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Traveling across Central Europe, Santa's sleigh has been reportedly flying over the state of Bavaria in southeastern Germany. The area is known for its mountains and forests, as well as its unique culture, including its language, cuisine, architecture, and festivals. From here, Santa is expected to continue into Western Europe and then fly southbound to Western Africa. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Father Christmas has come to town. Santa has reached the United Kingdom, home to many of our Team YANTSU members. As he flies through London, he is sure to take in the sights of the many landmarks of the city, including Big Ben, London Eye and the Tower Bridge. After delivering gifts to all the good kids in the UK, Santa heads across the sea to Ireland. He is shortly expected to cross the Atlantic, headed for South America. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jack Sharp.
While there are not many places to stop on Santa's Atlantic crossing, he is sure to always visit the Azores, a group of 9 Portuguese islands located 850 miles from the European continent. The islands are volcanic in origin, but there have been no major eruptions in over 60 years. It is not long now until we expect Santa to begin delivering in South America, and it appears that he will be in the United States in just a couple of hours from now. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
Santa has completed his crossing of the Atlantic and is now in South America. He has been heading north through Chile and Argentina and has most recently been delivering gifts to Chile's capital, Santiago. From Santiago, there is a breathtaking view of the Andes Mountains, which Santa admires as he flies past the Gran Torre Santiago, one of the tallest skyscrapers in Latin America. From here, Santa will continue north. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Santa has made it to Canada and is currently delivering gifts to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Did you know Nova Scotia is the home to NHL superstars Sidney Crosby, Nathan MacKinnon, and Brad Marchand? Santa certainly loves to play ice hockey with the elves throughout the year at the North Pole. From here, we expect Santa to head back south into the Caribbean and South America before returning back to the eastern coast of North America. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Board of Directors member Braden Thomas.
Santa is in the USA. One of his first stops on his long journey across the country is the city of Miami, located in the southeast of Florida. Did you know that Miami has one of the tallest skylines in the United States, with over 300 high-rises? Many of those high-rise buildings contain apartments full of believers. Those are a lot of rooms for Santa to navigate. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Michael.
Zooming north up the east coast of North America, Santa has been spotted delivering gifts in the concrete jungle. He flies across New York's iconic skyline as he delivers gifts to the city's 8 million residents. That makes it the most populated city in the United States. From up above, Santa also takes the time to gaze at the magnificent Christmas lights that twinkle across the city. He loves the festive atmosphere every Christmas. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Chief Pilot Nick Tay.
Santa makes his way swiftly across the United States, with his latest stop located at St. Louis, a major city in Missouri along the Mississippi River and Illinois. Its iconic 630-foot-tall Gateway Arch, built back in the 1960s, honors the early 19th century explorations of Lewis and Clark and America's continued westward expansion. Santa thrills the holiday crowd by flying under the Gateway Arch with a clear sign for all Midwestern kids to scamper off to bed now. Santa continues northward into Canada next, before returning to the U.S. on the next leg of his annual journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
There have been confirmed reports of Santa traveling across Mexico, with the most recent reports of jingle bells over the country's capital, Ciudad de Mexico. Located in the Valley of Mexico, the city sits at an altitude of 7,000 feet. It's also one of the largest cities in the world, with a population of nearly 9 million. With so many believers in this region, Santa makes sure to land on each and every rooftop in the city. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Chief Pilot Nicholas Tay. Feliz Navidad a todos.
Once again, Santa is headed north and is flying fast across the Canadian province of Alberta. There is plenty of snow in this part of the world, which is perfect for the reindeer who are moving strong and fast. There have been no delays for Santa in North America so far, and from here he should continue zigzagging across the continent towards the west coast. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Santa is on the west coast of the United States and is currently stopping off at the homes of all the good children in Los Angeles. Known as the entertainment capital of the world, Los Angeles is known for its Hollywood movies. Santa has been featured in many movies, and he loves to watch these with the elves at the North Pole, of course during a break from preparing for Christmas. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Santa has reached one of the last stops on his mission, the beautiful islands of Hawaii. At a distance of around 2,500 miles from the U.S. mainland, the sleigh has crossed a lot of ocean to get here. Santa will visit a few more islands in the Pacific before going back to all the houses where children had not yet fallen asleep. He will then begin his return trip to the North Pole after a long night of delivering gifts. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Chief Pilot Nick Tay.
Having travelled across the world in just over 24 hours, Santa has returned to the North Pole. As the sleigh touches down for the last time, there are cheers all around. It's been a busy time for all the elves and Santa, and they'll enjoy a nice long rest before getting back to work. From all of us here at Team YANTSU, we thank you for watching the 12th annual Tracking Santa live show and wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden. Good morning and happy Christmas Eve from the North Pole. Santa has woken up from a relaxing sleep as final preparations for his flight begin. It appears that everything so far is going smoothly for launch, and we expect Santa to take off in just a few hours. After eating a hearty breakfast prepared by Mrs. Claus, he is fully rested and fueled up for his 24-hour journey around the world. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for further updates on Santa's preparations. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
After another busy year of making gifts, the elves' work in Santa's workshop is almost over. As production nears completion, Santa arrives to brief head elf Ernest on requests sent in from last-minute letters. He also takes some time to inspect newly made toys coming off the production line, which will soon be loaded onto Santa's sleigh. What did you ask Santa for Christmas this year? For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Latest reports from the North Pole have suggested that Santa is currently at the reindeer barn and getting the reindeer ready for flight. The reindeer have been training hard all year round and are certainly ready and raring to go. After they all enjoy a specially prepared Yuletide power meal, Santa reminds them of the flight plan, and Rudolph checks his nose is flashing brightly to guide Santa through any bad weather and dark encounters. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jack Sharp.
Santa's workshop has finally been completed, and the gifts are ready to be loaded onto Santa's sleigh. The elves quickly move all the gifts from the workshop to the loading dock, where they'll be placed on board. Santa's sack must sure be big to hold all the gifts of the kids all around the world. We're not sure how he does it, but it's not long now until Santa sets off on his Yuletide journey. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Tom Jennings.
Time has finally come for Santa as he races down the runway and takes off into the night sky. The sleigh is fully loaded and the reindeer appears to be flying fast. Your gifts are on their way. The elves and Miss Claus cheer from the ground below as Santa disappears into the distance. From here we expect Santa to head south towards eastern Russia before continuing towards the islands in the Pacific. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
Covering a distance of almost 12,000 miles, Santa has flown from his North Pole home all the way to Antarctica at the very south of the world. Did you know that there are no permanent residents in Antarctica? Instead, a small number of scientists live in research stations for parts of the year. McMurdo Station is one of them. With a maximum population of just over 1,000, there's not too much for Santa to deliver here, and we expect him to head swiftly north onwards to the Pacific Islands and Russia. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
There have been reports of jingling bells over South Korea, and we have confirmation that Santa has reached the capital city, Seoul. Seoul's skyline is dominated by various high-rise buildings, including the Lotte World Tower. At a height of 1,800 feet, it's the 5th tallest building in the world. With many years of flying experience, Santa is a skilled pilot when it comes to navigating the tall buildings in many cities today, and he delivers to the believers of Seoul safely and quickly. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Heading south through Western Australia, Santa has reached the capital city of the state, Perth. It's summertime in Australia, and the reindeers sure are grateful for the water left out for them by many of the 2 million residents of the city to help keep them cool and hydrated in this warmer weather. Santa has now almost completed his delivery of gifts to believers in Australia and will soon head north into Central Asia. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Ho, 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 ho!
Santa and the reindeer have now reached one of the colder parts of their journey, the tallest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. Situated on the border between China and Nepal, and at a height of over 29,000 feet, it's almost as high as the cruising altitude of a passenger plane. That's pretty far up. It's safe to say that Santa will probably choose to fly the sleigh around rather than over the mountain. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Chief Pilot Nick Tay.
Ho, 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 ho!
Santa has made great progress through Western Asia so far, and the latest reports suggest that he is currently flying over the city of Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. Once a small fishing village, Dubai has quickly grown into a bustling metropolis and is one of the world's most popular tourist destinations. It's also home to the tallest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa, which stands at a whopping 2,700 feet tall. Children in the Middle East should be in bed by now. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jack Sharp.
Ho, 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 ho!
Santa has reached Africa, and one of his first stops is the capital city of Nairobi, Kenya. The city is located close to the Nairobi National Park, which is home to a large variety of wildlife and is located just 4 miles south of the city. Santa loves to see nature, as well as cities, as he flies around the world. There have been no delays for Santa here in Africa, and we expect him to head north into Eastern Europe shortly. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
Ho, 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 ho!
Make sure to keep your eye on Ukraine at this hour as Santa heads through the capital city of Kiev. Kiev is home to many historical landmarks, including the giant titanium Motherland Monument overlooking the Dnieper River and the Golden Gate. Santa appears to be continuing his journey southbound throughout Eastern Europe, and anyone not yet visited by Santa should get to sleep. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Christmas time in Turkey, as Santa flies over the largest, and not the capital, city of Istanbul. With a population of over 15 million, the city is the most populous in Europe. Santa sure has his work cut out as he delivers to the many believers living there. Being the ancient home of St. Nicholas, Turkey holds a special place in Santa's heart. And as he flies through the country, he always makes sure to think about St. Nicholas's kindness and generosity. SantaTracking.net, I'm Tom Jennings.
Ho, 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 ho.
Santa and the reindeer have recently been delivering gifts to the capital city of Cairo, Egypt. Cairo is well known for being close to the pyramids of Giza as well as the Great Sphinx, which Santa flies past on his way to the city. Did you know that these ancient structures date back to around 2500 BC? They're also the oldest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, and the only thing still standing. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Ho, 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 ho.
Making his way through Africa in record time, Santa has reached Cape Town, one of the 3 capitals of South Africa. Cape Town is known for its natural landmarks, including the Table Mountain overlooking the city, and Cape Point, a rocky mass of land at the far southwestern point of the continent. From here, we expect Santa to head towards Central Europe. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Ho, 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 ho.
Dashing from country to country, there doesn't appear to be any sign of Santa slowing down as he flies through Central Europe. As well as flying over the many cities in the continent, Santa is also sure to stop by at the more remote areas, including the snow-capped Alps mountains. Santa hopes that all the kids of Europe are tucked up in bed and asleep, ready for his arrival. Make sure to stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for updates on when it's time for you to go to bed. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
Ho, 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 ho.
Continuing his journey through Central Europe, Santa has been spotted flying past the many canals of Amsterdam, the capital city of the Netherlands. Did you know that the city is sometimes known as the Venice of the North? Amsterdam is also known for its many museums, as well as the Royal Palace, which Santa flies past as he visits the city. He admires the architecture of the buildings, some which date back to the 14th century. For SantaTracking.net, I am Max McIntyre.
Ho, 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 ho.
Feliz Navidad! It's Christmas in Spain as Santa flies over the city of Barcelona, located on the coast in the northeast of the country. Santa loves the magnificent architecture of Barcelona, including the still unfinished Sagrada Familia, designed by Antoni Gaudí. While the Spanish children believe that the three wise men, who are said to bring gifts to them as they did to the baby Jesus, are not due to visit until January 6th, Santa loves that so many enjoy celebrating with him too. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Robert Gron.
Santa, or Father Christmas as he is commonly known, is currently delivering gifts to all of the believers in the United Kingdom, including many of our Team YANTSU members. As Santa travels through the UK, he enjoys sampling the mince pies left out for him and viewing the beautiful castles and historic buildings around the country. We now expect Santa to make his way across the Atlantic Ocean, headed for South America. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Santa has continued his worldwide gift delivering mission with a visit to St. John's, the capital city of the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador. With a population of just over 100,000, did you know that the city is the easternmost in mainland North America, as well as one of the oldest on the continent? Everyone not yet visited by Santa in South America, as well as those in eastern North America, should head to bed soon, as Santa will be heading your way very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Santa has been spotted flying over the coast of San Juan, Puerto Rico, the home of Team YANTSU member Jonathan Neves. Did you know that the island is home to the oldest executive mansion? Santa sure loves to visit Puerto Rico during the off-season, including the many popular places in the island like the popular city of Old St. Juan, which has settlements that date back as far as early as the 1500s. For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Peafy.
Located 8,000 feet up on a mountain ridge in the Andes Mountains, and dating back to the 15th century, Santa just flew past the ancient Inca citadel of Machu Picchu. It's just 50 miles northwest of the city of Cusco, and is the largest and best preserved remnant of the Inca Empire. Santa loves the views over the mountains during this part of his South American journey, and he will continue to head north towards the eastern United States and Canada. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Patrick Covey.
Santa is over the Caribbean, and most recently he was reported to have stopped off at the capital city of Cuba, Havana. The city's 500-year history means it is home to a very diverse range of architecture styles, from castles built in the 16th century to modern high-rises. As Santa flies over the city, he flies over its many landmarks, including the Museum of the Revolution, the Great Theatre of Havana, and the Christ of Havana, a 66-foot statue of Christ standing over the city, much like the Christ Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jack Sharp.
Santa was most recently spotted in Central Florida.
the most visited tourist destination in the U.S. An avid NASCAR fan, Santa loves flying some laps over the famous speedway in Daytona Beach. Traveling across the Sunshine State, Santa visits the thousands of families who enjoy spending the holidays in the happiest place on earth, Disney World. Santa will then head further west to make stops in the Tampa Bay area, and then will move on to cover the rest of the eastern seaboard. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Michael.
Flying along the East Coast, Santa has reached New York City. As Santa flies into the city, he circles the Statue of Liberty before heading north through the borough of Manhattan. New York is known as the city that never sleeps, but Santa hopes that all the believers are tucked up in bed so that he can deliver gifts on time. For updates on when it's your time to go to bed, keep watching the show over at SantaTracking.net as Santa continues his journey through the United States. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
Having completed the delivery of gifts to the eastern United States and Canada, Santa is now zooming through the central United States and has just stopped off at the state capital of Indiana, which is Indianapolis. The city is well known for its auto racing, and it hosts the Indianapolis 500 race held annually on Memorial Day weekend. It's probably not much of a surprise that Santa loves fast vehicles. Indianapolis is also the home to Team YANTSU's member Luke Dillon, and it appears that Santa is only 5 minutes away from his house. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Santa is heading west across the US and Canada, and he recently flew by the magnificent Grand Canyon. Carved out by 277 miles of the Colorado River, did you know the canyon is up to 18 miles wide and a mile deep? It's also around 5 to 6 million years old. As Santa begins to reach the end of his zigzagging trek across North America, we recommend that all kids still awake on the west coast of the US and Canada should go to bed. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
One of Santa's last stops on his journey through Canada is the city of Victoria in the province of British Columbia. The city is one of the oldest in the Pacific Northwest, and Santa flies past the Parliament buildings and the Empress Hotel, both historic landmarks dating back more than a century. Santa has only a few stops left on his flight this year, and we now expect him to head north towards Alaska, followed by a turn south towards the remaining islands east of the international date line. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Flying north into Alaska, Santa has reached the state capital, Juneau, the second largest city in the U.S. by area, with a population of only about 32,000 people. That comes out to an average of just 10 people per square mile. Due to the rugged terrain surrounding the city, it's also the only state capital in mainland North America that has no roads connecting it to the rest of the state. Everything coming in and out of the city must travel by plane or boat. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Santa has almost come to the end of his journey as he flies through Hawaii. Latest reports suggest he has stopped off at the city of Hilo, located on the island of Hawaii, the largest island in the state. The island is also home to 2 volcanoes, Mauna Loa, an active volcano, and Mauna Kea, a dormant volcano. Santa will now visit the remaining islands in the Pacific before backtracking to homes where children were not yet asleep the first time he visited. He will then head back to the North Pole after having delivered gifts everywhere around the world. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
After a long, tiring but successful journey, Santa has finally made his way back to the North Pole. There are cheers from Mrs. Claus and all of the elves as the sleigh touches down on the runway. Everyone at the North Pole will now enjoy a well-deserved rest before beginning to prepare for next year's Christmas. From all of us here at Team YANTSU, we thank you for watching the 13th annual Tracking Santa live show and wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy and safe New Year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Good morning and Merry Christmas Eve from the North Pole. After waking up from a much needed restful sleep, Santa and his team of elves are making final preparations for his big Yuletide journey. Reports indicate that everything is so far going smoothly for launch, and Santa is expected to take off within the next couple of hours. After eating a hearty meal prepared by Mrs. Claus and reading last-minute letters, Santa should be all good to go. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net throughout the day for further updates. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Latest reports from the North Pole suggest that Santa and his team of reindeer are currently in the reindeer barn getting them ready for flight. After training hard all year long, the reindeer are certainly ready for their big journey. Followed by a special-made Yuletide power meal, Santa reviews the flight plan with them, and head reindeer Rudolph double-checks his nose and ensures it'll be glowing bright red to guide Santa through any potentially bad weather. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
Cheers broke out from the vicinity of the North Pole recently as the final official Christmas gift has been wrapped. The elves can now take a well-deserved break and rest easy for a bit, knowing their workshop production for the year has been completed successfully. Most of the gifts are already loaded on the Santa sleigh, while final preparations get made for the reindeer, flight clearances, and all-weather forecasts for Santa's annual Yuletide journey around the world get their latest updates. Reports suggest that Santa expects to take off right on time within the next half hour or so. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Andrew Corrales.
Latest reports can confirm that the gifts have been loaded, the sleigh has reached the air, and Santa has officially taken off from the North Pole. With a fully loaded sleigh and the reindeer flying fast and steady, your gifts are on their way. Mrs. Claus and the elves cheer as Santa disappears into the night sky. From here, Santa is expected to head south towards the Pacific Ocean. Stay tuned to SantaTracking.net for the latest updates on Santa's location. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
one of his first stops on his annual Yuletide journey, Santa was recently spotted in Christchurch, New Zealand. Lying on the east coast of New Zealand's South Island, Christchurch is the second largest city in New Zealand behind Auckland. It's rumored that Santa secretly visits the beautiful Sumner Beach in Christchurch during the summertime. But he can't stay for too long as toy production continues all year long. Check back with Team YANTSU throughout the day for the latest update on Santa's location. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
Continuing to make his way through the Oceania region, Santa was last seen in Melbourne, Australia. Being the capital and most populous city in the Australian state of Victoria, Melbourne is home to many of Australia's best-known landmarks, such as the Melbourne Cricket Ground, the National Gallery of Victoria, and the World Heritage. While Santa would love to visit all of these places, he's got no time to waste as he still has loads of gifts to deliver, including yours. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
Latest reports indicate that Santa was last seen making his way through Japan, and most recently the city of Kyoto. Considered the cultural capital of Japan, it is a major tourist destination, being the home of numerous Buddhist temples, Shinto shrines, palaces, and gardens. Santa was even reported to have swung by the Nintendo headquarters, which are located in Kyoto. Keep tracking Santa with Team YANTSU to find out where Santa will go next. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Continuing his journey throughout Asia, Santa's most recent stop was the city of Hong Kong. With a population of 7.5 million people and covering over 400 square miles of land, Hong Kong is one of the most densely populated places in the world, so Santa will have his work cut out for him here. Santa zoomed through the Victoria Harbour to get a beautiful view of the Hong Kong island skyline before continuing on with his journey. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
Santa was recently spotted in one of the major cities in Southeast Asia, Singapore. Singapore is known as an island country, with its territory composing of one main island alongside 63 satellite islands. Singapore is also a global center for multiculturalism. Did you know Singapore has 4 official languages? English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. Santa sure loves to see such a diverse city that represents all of the good boys and girls he delivers to all around the world. Santa is expected to start making his way west towards Western Asia very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Altitude of over 29,000 feet, Santa was recently seen stopping by Mount Everest in Nepal. The peak of Everest is the highest point on Earth, and it attracts many climbers, including highly experienced mountaineers. Everest is also known for its extreme weather, such as heavy winds, high altitudes, cold temperatures, and even avalanches. So climbers must be well prepared before taking on this challenge. If you live in Asia and haven't gone to bed yet, this is your alert to do so now. For TrackingSanta.net, I'm John Monnet.
Sleigh bells have recently been heard off the coast of Africa as Santa has recently stopped by Port Louis, the capital city of Mauritius. Mainly located in the Port Louis district with a small western part in the Black River district, Port Louis is the country's economic, cultural, and political center, and the most populous city. It's also the home of the Champ de Mars racecourse, the second oldest racetrack in the world. Santa is expected to be heading toward Africa and Western Europe very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Carl Front.
Beginning his journey through Western Europe, one of Santa's first stops is the Finnish capital of Helsinki. Known for its historical importance, did you know that Helsinki has very close historical ties with Tallinn, Estonia, Stockholm, Sweden, and St. Petersburg, Russia? It was also the World Design Capital in 2012, home of the 1952 Summer Olympics and the 52nd Eurovision Song Contest in 2007. European children are suggested to get to bed very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Max McIntyre.
Making his way through the continent of Africa, Santa was recently spotted in Johannesburg, South Africa. Nicknamed the City of Gold, the city is located in a mineral-rich range of hills and is the center of large-scale gold and diamond trade. Many major South African banks and companies also have their headquarters located in Johannesburg. Where do you think Santa will travel next? Keep tracking with Team YANTSU to find out. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Alex Nickel.
Buona feste! Santa's now making his way through the boot nation of Italy. He was most recently spotted in Venice. After zooming through the magnificent Piazza San Marco, he was reported to have stopped by La Fenice Theater before making his way out to the islands of San Giorgio Maggiore. Although the city is facing some challenges, Venice is a very popular tourist destination, a major cultural center, and has been ranked many times as the most beautiful city in the world. For SantaTracking.net, I'm William Heafy.
Recent reports have indicated that Santa has recently delivered gifts to one of his biggest stops on his journey, Central Europe. He was reported to have flown through the city of Prague in the Czech Republic, Budapest in Hungary, and Vienna in Austria. Central Europe has a lot of smaller nations packed together in one region, and with high populations in each of these nations, Santa will have many stops throughout the region. Children in Western Europe are expected to start heading to sleep very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Making his way through many European countries, Santa's last stop was in Zurich, the largest city in Switzerland. Being the home of many financial institutions and banking companies, Zurich is among the world's largest financial centers, despite having a relatively small population. It is also the home of many museums and art galleries, including the Swiss National Museum, which Santa just made a quick stop by. If you're in Europe and you're still awake, this is your official bedtime alert. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Continuing through Africa to make one of his final stops in the continent, Santa was recently reported delivering gifts to the good children in Tunis, the capital and largest city of Tunisia. Located at the very north point of Africa, Tunis is known for its many colonial-era buildings, providing many smaller and older structures compared to other major cities throughout the world. After zooming past the statue of Ibn Khaldun, Santa is expected to be making his way to the United Kingdom very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Liam Warden.
Santa, or Father Christmas, is currently making his way through the United Kingdom. He was last spotted in Southampton, England, which is the home of Team YANTSU member Max. It's a truly amazing result for all Southampton Football Club fans that reside here as well, as Santa is known to very much enjoy Premier League football. Santa also loves to see the many medieval buildings there, such as Bar Gate and the Wall House. The UK children should be in bed by now. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Lewis.
Making his way through South America, Santa was recently spotted in the Argentinian capital of Buenos Aires. Argentina is known for many things, including tango music and its association football team, which recently just won the World Cup in Qatar. Go Messi! Santa flew fast and low to the ground along the July 9th Avenue in Buenos Aires, before circling back to anyone's houses who he may have missed. From here, Santa will continue north towards Central America. Keep tracking with Team YANTSU for the latest updates on Santa's location. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Considered to be one of the largest ecological reserves in the world, Santa was just spotted soaring high above Manaus, Brazil. Located in the center of the world's famous Amazon rainforest, it is considered the home of over 500 mammals and 30 million types of insects. Manaus is often called the Paris of the tropics, due to the many features within Manaus that resemble European culture, including the Amazon Theater, considered to be one of the most beautiful opera houses in the world. Next, Santa will head north from here towards the Caribbean. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Santa has finally arrived in the Caribbean and has been spotted delivering gifts to all the believers in San Juan, the capital city of Puerto Rico. This year, the city concluded its 500th anniversary celebrations by hosting the San Juan International Regatta, a yacht competition that was last held in 1992. As he flies over the island's white sandy beaches, Santa is also sure to stop by the home of Team YANTSU member Jonathan Nieves. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
Beginning his journey in the United States, one of Santa's first stops in the nation is Atlanta, Georgia. Considered the heart of the southeastern USA, Atlanta was home of the 1996 Summer Olympics, and you can still see many Olympic monuments in the city today, such as the Olympic Cauldron Tower and many statues in Centennial Park. Before leaving the city, Santa stopped by the CNN Center to get a quick news update, and then the World of Coca-Cola for a nice beverage. Children in the eastern USA, this is your bedtime moment. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Making his way through eastern Canada, Santa was recently spotted zooming through Montreal, located in the Canadian province of Quebec. It is the only French-speaking province in Canada. Montreal holds the largest jazz festival in the world, the Montreal International Jazz Festival, and is also home to the Montreal Canadiens of the National Hockey League, who have won the Stanley Cup more times than any other team. Known to be a huge fan of hockey, Santa will sure lost a passion for hockey when he visits Canada. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Lewis.
Sleigh bells have recently been heard over Cincinnati, Ohio, as Santa has just stopped there. In the late 1800s, Cincinnati was known as the Paris of America, being the home of the Cincinnati Music Hall, Cincinnatian Hotel, and Shillito Department Store. Located right along the Ohio River, it's known for its harsh winds and particularly cold winters. No worries though, Santa got himself a nice warm bowl of Cincinnati-style chili, alongside milk and cookies of course. Keep tracking with Team YANTSU for the next update on where Santa is. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Connor Hill.
Moving fast through the Americas, Santa has just stopped in Mexico City. Being the fourth most populous city in the world, Mexico City is home to approximately 9 million people, and Santa will surely visit them all. Santa was spotted circling the National Museum of Anthropology, the largest museum in Mexico, known for the world's largest collection of ancient art. From here, Santa will travel north further into the United States and Canada. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Marcus Pearl.
Continuing to zigzag in and out of the United States and Canada, Santa was most recently spotted delivering gifts in Edmonton. Located in the Canadian province of Alberta, Edmonton is well known for its oil production, inspiring the name of the professional hockey team, the Edmonton Oilers. It is also known as Canada's Festival City, hosting a year-round slate of festivals. After stopping by the beautiful gardens at the Metard Conservatory, Santa is expected to head back into the western United States very soon. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Braden Thomas.
Nearing the end of his journey in the primary USA region, Santa was recently seen in the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas. Las Vegas is an internationally renowned major resort destination known primarily for its gambling, shopping, fine dining, entertainment, and nightlife. After soaring past the tall Stratosphere Tower and flying low to the ground along the Las Vegas Strip, Santa is nearing the end of his journey. Keep tracking Santa with Team YANTSU for the latest updates on Santa's location. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
Arriving in the 50th U.S. state, Santa has been spotted in Fairbanks, the capital of Alaska. Santa feels more at home in the cold weather of Fairbanks. Home of numerous tourist attractions, Santa was seen slowing down the reindeer for a moment to view the northern lights before zipping off to the nearby North Pole, Alaska. North Pole, Alaska is a tourist attraction that is decorated year-round as the North Pole, including candy cane streetlights. From here, Santa will make his way towards Hawaii before ending his journey soon after. For SantaTracking.net, I am Luke Dillon.
to the end of his annual Yuletide journey, one of Santa's final stops is the capital and largest city in the US state of Hawaii, Honolulu. The city is characterized by a mix of various Asian, Western, and Pacific cultures, as reflected in its diverse demography, cuisine, and traditions. Santa was also to have reported to stop by Pearl Harbor and pay his respects to all of the men and women who have sacrificed their lives for the nation. If Santa has not visited you yet, this is your bedtime alert. For SantaTracking.net, I'm Jonathan Nieves.
After another successful Yuletide journey around the globe, Santa has officially made it back home to the North Pole. Mrs. Claus and the elves cheer as the sleigh touches down on the runway, and Santa and his reindeer know they will need a much-needed long rest. After that, they'll start preparing for next year's Christmas. From all of us here at Team YANTSU, we thank you for watching the 14th annual Tracking Santa live show, and we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a safe and Happy New Year. For SantaTracking.net, I'm John Monnet.